Welcome, fellow humans! Today I'm going to talk about how I managed to have a critical fail while eating pizza. Eating pizza is not a difficult task. I have done it so many times in my life. I loved pizza as a kid. But one time, while eating a slice of pizza, I managed to actually really mess myself up. Fortunately, nothing serious, no long-term problems. So I was sitting and having some pizza with a friend, and I bit my tongue. I have bit my tongue many times in my life, and it's usually not a big deal. But for some reason, this time it was. I hurt, of course, but I also had this weird sense that I had been detached from my ability to tell my body what to do. And I just had to sit there and wait until it came back. And my friend asked me if I was okay, which actually surprised me at the time because I didn't think from the outside there was any real indication of a problem, which has made me wonder, looking back at this, if I may have temporarily lost consciousness. I have no way to know, because whenever I lose consciousness, I'm not aware of it, and by the time that it occurred to me that that might have happened, it was an incident that my friend no longer remembered because, from his perspective, very little happened overall throughout this incident. Most of what happened was going on weird in my head. But I may or may not have lost consciousness because there may have been a period of time of me just sitting there not moving that prompted him to have that question, and there's no way to determine that. But what definitely happened was when he asked that question, I wanted to reassure him that I was okay, that I had just bit my tongue. But I couldn't, because I didn't have control over my own body. For some reason, I had just become disconnected from it. And so I just had to sit there and wait for that to pass until I could explain what happened. And then it did pass. So my best guess about what actually happened overall, as ridiculous as this is, I think I managed to bite my tongue and go into shock. That seems to be the best description for what I experienced. And that sounds kind of ludicrous, I know, because you generally think of people going into shock from serious things, like a gunshot wound or something, not from biting your tongue, not from just some pain. And it wasn't even the worst pain I've ever had in my life. It was painful, but it wasn't that bad. But that's actually my best guess, that I failed so hard at eating a pizza that I temporarily went into shock. And I did run this past my father, who was a doctor, and he said that it seemed possible to him. So while I can't give you any guarantees, I think that's what I managed to do. Fortunately, I have never failed at eating that badly other than that one time in my life. So I've got several decades of eating in an acceptable manner, and one time when I couldn't manage to handle a slice of pizza. Anyway, that's my story, and if you liked it, please click like, and if you'd like more similar content, then subscribe. If you know someone who might find it interesting, then by all means share it. But most of all, if you have any thoughts, questions, want to make fun of me for failing so hard at eating pizza, by all means, I would love to read your comments. Thank you.